New developments now in the small town murders of an entire family. 6 children and their mother, all of them killed by the children's own grandfather, who also killed himself. This happened in the town of Bell in Gilchrist County, just west of Gainesville. 4 of the children went to Bell Elementary School. They were shot soon after getting off the school bus yesterday afternoon. Teachers and school officials say they are devastated.
It was a tough morning at Bell Elementary School. These students were loved by their classmates, by their teachers and staff. It really hurt me this morning to be on our campus and seeing kids feeling the way they did this morning. It was difficult. We pray that God will be with us in the days ahead in His community.
Well, how do you explain it to kids? How do you explain it to anybody? Police say Don Spirit called 911 after he had killed his grandchildren and his daughter, then killed himself after deputies arrived minutes later. The question we have here tonight is, why did he do it? Nobody is sure. He was not a legal gun owner, did this awful thing all by himself. And the sheriff says that that little community there in Bell, Florida, needs prayers tonight.
There's approximately 16,000 to 17,000 citizens in Gilchrist County. Everybody knows everyone. This is devastating. If anybody within the sound of my voice or the sight of these TV screens, keep this community, the families, and our children in your prayers, because they need it.
The entire population of that little town of Bell there in Gilchrist County is just over 450 people. There's been nothing like that there, or in fact, anywhere else for most matters here.
Don Spirit moved to Bell in 1998. Until then, he lived in Tampa. Court records show a long criminal record here, and his former neighbors say he was mean-tempered and violent. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank talked to a woman who witnessed that violence. Evan?
Well, Denise, even 16 years after he lived in South Tampa, neighbors remember Don Spirit for the way that he used to yell at and beat his children.
Corinne Slight sums up her lasting impression of Don Spirit.
He was a jerk.
Slight was Spirit's neighbor on Martindale Avenue in South Tampa in the 1990s.
We didn't like him too much. He was always yelling. He was not a very nice guy.
She was childhood friends with his daughter, the now deceased Sarah Spirit. Slight saw how Spirit raised his kids.
I remember one time, son's in trouble climbing up the stairs. He smacked the son so hard, son fell off the stairs. I remember we were at the park watching it.
Spirit's record is filled with charges of felony drug possession, obstructing an officer, and depriving a child of food and shelter. In 2001, he shot and killed his 8-year-old son on a hunting trip. Authorities determined it was an accident.
I can't believe it, because even though he was a jerk, I remember when he shot his son, because they were living on the street when it happened. And I remember how hurt and upset he was. And, you know, he had an anger problem, but you could tell he did love his family.
Psychiatrist Walter Afield says it foreshadows this mass killing.
So you've got a pattern of violence or disturbed behavior towards children. Then he comes home here, whatever he's been doing, whatever he's been taking, all of a sudden he kills the whole family. A very sick way to do it.
Spirit got out of jail in 2006 after serving 3 years for gun possession. He moved to Bell. The man who once told the newspaper that his medication wasn't working, that his only medicine was his family, wound up killing as many of them as he could.
I did feel for him after he killed his son, but after this, it makes you wonder if it was an accident when he killed his son.
And in 54 years of studying mass murderers, the psychiatrist we spoke to says he's never heard of a grandfather killing his own grandchildren. And at 6 o'clock, we're going to tell you more about how the accidental shooting of the 8-year-old impacted his family after that. We're in the control room tonight. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.